Hello and welcome to Love Light Inspire the podcast. This is where we speak to amazing, inspirational women on so many different topics. You just don't know what you're going to get. Now, look, my name's Lorraine Roberts and I'm your host. And I help people start new businesses, find direction and get into action and beat procrastination. If you want to get moving in life, I'm the person you need. You can find me on the Facebook group, Women of Love, Light and Inspiration Community. Come join us there. We post stuff all the time, so you never know what you're going to get. Now, today is going to be an interesting conversation. This week, I was asked by someone, what is spirituality and what does it mean to me? And I thought, wow, that's really interesting. I'd never sort of thought about it and put it into words. I knew exactly what it was from my heart, but I had no clue how to use words to describe what it was for me. So I decided that I would create a conversation and let's get this out into the open so people can actually understand what it means to be a spiritual person. Now, I'd connected with Narelle Carter on Facebook by chance, and we have absolutely connected quite strongly. It's really quite amazing. So I thought that she might be the perfect person. So today we're going to have a conversation on what it means to be spiritual and what it means to us and how it affects all of our lives. So I hope you enjoy it. It was a great conversation and I'm sure you will. Now, look, every Friday we release a new episode and we speak to someone else who is inspirational in some way or another, or sometimes it's just me who does a talk on some sort of topic. So come back every Friday, subscribe to our podcast and look, enjoy. I hope you really get a lot out of it. So hello, Narelle, how are you?
Hey, I'm well, thanks, Lorraine. Thank you so much for inviting me on today.
Oh, look, my pleasure. Look, Narelle Carter is somebody that I met on Facebook by accident somehow. I don't know what Facebook did, but I sent her a message and she said, but why are you sending me this? I don't know, because Facebook said. And it was really bizarre, but we've connected really, really well and we've got a
I
nice little friendship on Facebook starting.
I absolutely loved it because I think a lot of people are getting tired of invitations, and I just kept having to pop up. And I thought, look, I've got to tell you, I don't know you. Why would I join this group or page? And you reply, you were really open to discuss it. And oh my goodness, you and I have just clicked and we've deep dived into our childhood. We've got so much in common. Something that sort of was a little irritation, a friendship's grown from it.
Oh, it's been the best thing ever, actually. But I also wonder how many invitations I sent to other people, which I didn't even know, which just come up and you think, I don't know how it even got your name for me to send it to you, but it came up as a suggestion. And
I think most people just ignore them.
very true. Now, Narelle, tell us about you. Who are you and what do you do?
Well, look, I've actually become the chemical sensitivity expert for the Total Beauty Network. And so what I do is I research into our products because our products are clean, and I break all the information down and present it to the team and assist with any questions that come up from potential customers.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I don't like chemicals on the skin, but sometimes you just look in this day and age, sometimes you just have to.
Exactly, and the world is changing. We are
Mm.
seeing cleaner products coming out, and that is just wonderful because chemical sensitivity is becoming increasingly common.
Mm, it would be, it would be. Now, today, somehow I came up with the idea of we'd talk about spirituality. I was
Awesome.
asked the other day, what is spirituality? And I went, I know what it is, but I know what it means to me. But
Mm,
I thought, let's have a chat about this because it's a really interesting concept that is quite abstract in its own way. It will mean
yeah,
something different to me than it does to you.
exactly.
So, what is spirituality to you? What does it mean?
To me, spirituality is a way of life, and I walk my talk. And I live my spirituality. It's infused in every aspect of my life. And I wouldn't say I'm religious, but I see religion as spiritual, and but not the type of religion that you need to push on people.
Or go to
I
church to believe in?
Exactly. I just go quietly about my own spiritual beliefs and don't impose upon anyone.
Mm.
How
Yeah,
about you?
I'm very, very similar. And to be honest with you, I don't see there's much difference between God, between Allah, between Buddha, between all of the Krishna, all of the what's it's all a higher being that we don't know what it is.
Yeah, look, I believe there is
That's
one
the word.
source
Yeah.
and everything comes from that source.
Mm,
So everyone is infused with God,
mm,
everyone and everything.
mm.
We're all special. We're all spiritual, but I think a lot of people have forgotten that they are connected to their higher spirituality.
Yeah.
And so they think that they're not, but everyone is.
Yes. It's interesting, isn't it? So to me, it doesn't matter what religion you are, you're still believing in that one source.
And I think it's important that if you truly believe in it, you live it
Oh, absolutely.
rather than just talk about it and pressure people into joining. That's, to me, that's not spirituality.
No, it's not, is it? No. Well, to me, it's not ethical. Whether it's spirituality, I don't, they would class it as, but to me, it's not ethical. And
Yeah.
ethics are really, really important. And if you're living your true self, you are ethical.
Yes, and of course, everyone has a different perspective of that.
Mm.
Everyone's got different morals, different
Yep.
ethics, different beliefs.
Yep.
And as long as we are living to the best that we can be, who can argue?
Exactly, exactly. But we're also human, so we also make mistakes.
Yes, which
Not
I
perfect.
exactly, and there's no such thing as perfection.
No.
There's a lot of posts going around lately on Facebook that we grow through our mistakes. We
Oh, yes.
grow through our challenges. And when things are going smoothly, we don't grow,
Mm,
but we need those smooth times as a breather.
we do. We definitely do. And every lump and bump
Oh,
is a great learning experience,
exactly.
or we can just ignore it and go, "Oh, wow, poor is me."
Well, that's it. And I think that's when people get caught in a loop. And what I see is that loop is actually you pull it out and it's a spiral.
Yes.
And when you've achieved a life lesson, because you'll revisit it and it'll feel familiar to you, but you're actually got a different perspective. And
Mm,
so what's happened is you've moved up the spiral and you're at
mm,
the same position, but
mm,
you're learning. I
mm.
love it. See, to me, that's all part of spirituality. We're
Yeah.
working to improve ourselves, which improves our lives. And as we improve ourselves, that flows out into the world. We
Yes.
attract more like minded people and we're contributing to the light.
You're right, you're right. Because yes, a lot of the people that I'm attracting are very, very like-minded at the moment, and it's like there is nobody who doesn't think the way I think. It's I've really connected with all these people and brought them into me.
Fabulous.
It is really nice actually. But going back to the spiral,
Mm.
I said to someone the other day, one of the great things is I now recognize when I'm going down, down. I can feel myself going down and I go, okay, when I hit the bottom, I land on a trampoline, which then bounces me straight back up to the top again.
Oh, fabulous.
So I fall down and bounce back up again. But it's because of the work that I've done on myself
Exactly.
that I'm not sitting in the bottom of a well with no trampoline.
That's it. And look, I see it similarly to you, though I call it strong foundations. Because when I encounter a trigger that in the past would have had me crashing, now it might jolt me, but I can stop and think and go, well, okay, I haven't crashed. Okay, let's deal with this. And there's a greater maturity.
And you deal with it and you bounce back up again. Where if you're
Yeah.
in the bottom of the well, there's no ladder down there to get you out of the well.
Well,
Body going, oh, poor me, poor me, poor me. I'm in the bottom of the well and no one can get me out of here. And it's, you're right,
some people been there,
they do, don't they?
and that's their choice, and we just got to have compassion for that's where they're at, and it's not our place to try and change them.
No, it's not, is it?
No,
We,
because you can't change anyone. People have
no,
to want to change,
exactly,
and then they will seek the teacher that they need.
exactly. You can throw them the lifeline, but if they don't grab it, they don't grab it.
Exactly.
No?
Exactly. And don't get yourself all worried about trying to make them grab it. No, move on to the next person.
Oh, I think that's another thing. I realise that this is my lessons, that's their lessons. It's
Exactly.
not for me to stop their lessons, rescue them, so they don't experience their lessons.
Exactly. Otherwise, you're going to take it on board.
Mm,
And saying there's no judgment. We're all where we are at.
mm, exactly. Exactly. Oh, judgment, that's a whole other one, isn't it?
Oh, yes. We're so ingrained with judging, and it can just be just a little thought of, I can't think of anything at the moment, but I do catch myself out occasionally, and
Oh, I catch
yeah.
every minute of the day. The fence is wet. Oh, gee, I should have, this is that, or
Well, look, about the rain, the land is soggy, it's awful out there, but flip it, and this is going to see us through the fire season.
oh, very true. Very, very true. So,
So it's easy to judge and see the negative, but I do believe that in every negative there's a positive. And lately I've been looking at flipping my thoughts to turn it around and give a new perspective.
yeah, because it's the end of October.
Oh my
So it's going to
goodness,
be,
yes.
so November, and it's going to be very, very green. And usually it's starting to dry off by that. By then.
Exactly. So we'll see how long this rain lasts.
Oh, that's a whole other issue, isn't it?
We'll see. Sometimes I've come out on Facebook and I've talked about the rain, and to me, water represents emotions. And so when it's raining, I think, okay, what emotions are coming up that I'm dealing with?
Yeah.
And to me, that's part of my spirituality. I analyze the reflections in my life to help me unravel my issues and grow.
How does your spirituality support you? That's a really good question, isn't it?
That's a really good question. My spirituality I see as a series of tools to help me deal with life.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But you, how do you see it?
It supports me because I have a knowing and that belief
Mm,
that everything is for the greater good and there are lessons out the other end. I just
yeah,
need to look for them.
yeah,
And everything that happens, I'm going, where's the lesson in this? Where's the lesson in that? And there's terrible things can happen, but okay, so where's the good in it? Where's the lesson? What are we to learn from this?
exactly.
And that's
Yeah.
what holds me and keeps me
I look for those little
Both.
triggers, and sometimes the trigger is a real jolt to the body, and other times I feel it as a little tension somewhere in my body, and I just straight away I dive into that, and I could still be talking to someone, but having this conversation going on with my body, and where is that? What's going on? What are you feeling?
Yeah.
And that way I start to pull it out.
Yeah, exactly. And it happens that fast for me too now that you might say something and I'll think, oh my God. And if it triggers me, I go, right, where's that in me?
Yeah,
That's my first
exactly.
question. Where's
Mhm.
that in me that I'm triggered by something you're saying? Because it's got nothing to do with me anyhow. It's you, but you've triggered me. So it's in me.
Yes, and your trigger is about you and nothing to do with me.
Mhm.
Oh, we're complex beings, aren't we?
We're really complex. And I think maybe for some of the listeners, they might be going, what the?
What are they talking about?
Because it really is quite it takes a while to actually grasp it and understand it
Mm.
at that soul level.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. And some people just aren't ready to take this on and they
No.
won't watch, and that's fine.
And be responsible for everything that they feel.
Mm,
Because to
yeah.
other people, it's other people's. They're looking out externally for the reasons.
Yeah, exactly. It comes back to responsibility. And we are responsible for our reactions, and we react to triggers that trigger something within us, and that's why
Yeah.
people lash out or say inappropriate things, and we are responsible for how we behave. The other person may be responsible for triggering us in the first place, but quite often they don't know that they've done it, and so
No.
it's actually a gift to have something triggered within, because it gives you an opportunity to work on it and release it.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. So, what guides you with spirituality? What is the guiding force? Is there a guiding force or is it our own self belief? Is it our own, yeah, self belief? I think.
I I think there's a drive within people to seek truth and to
And be better
or
for me to be
to
better.
improve themselves. This all started for me when I was very ill with chemical sensitivity, and it was that's exactly what you said. I kept crashing.
Mm,
And when you crash, there is nowhere to go except out or up.
mm,
And there's just this drive in me, I will never give up.
mm,
And so I kept coming up and I started questioning because I knew no one could help me. I had to help myself.
mm.
And I started seeking, just talking. I didn't know if I was talking to my higher spirituality or what.
Yeah.
I obviously was, because answers started coming. And I found a couple in Michigan. They come under the title of expansions. And so I started traveling to Michigan twice a year and totally changed my life around.
Wow.
Yeah, and
Wow.
so and I still follow them and communicate with them, and I still follow their teachings. And so that's where I'm learning all about my spirituality, and it's taking me deeper, and yeah.
How long ago was that?
It's actually not as long ago as it feels. I would have said to you, I don't know, 10 years ago or something. It could be, I don't know, but something came
Yeah.
up on Facebook the other day, Facebook memories, and I'm, oh, really? Wasn't that long ago. So off the top of my head, I don't know, but I did travel there for a number of years, and I absolutely loved it there.
Mm. Oh, that's amazing. That's
How
amazing.
about you? How did you get on your spiritual path?
Oh, not what you want to do on a podcast.
It's life.
I, as a little kid, used to go to church.
Mm,
Then in my teen years, I saw a lot of what I call hypocrisy.
mhm, mhm.
These are meant to be ministers, but they weren't behaving ministers. as a teenager. I look back now, and we're talking about house rentals and throwing kids out and all sorts of stuff. And I look back now as an adult and go, oh, and I might have done the same as them. But as a teenager, I questioned, how could a Christian person do that? Which was really interesting. In my early 20s, I was first shown self-development. And it fascinated me and scared me because it did make me look within myself.
Totally.
In my 30s, I got chronic fatigue and spent most of my 30s in bed, not moving. But I found the books, The Celestine Prophecy and The 10th Psalm. So I read them in the 90s, and they had a profound effect on me.
Yeah.
Early 2000s, I was told to go and do landmark education by a business coach that I had.
Oh, okay.
Landmark is an interesting organisation. I don't know much about it. It's a very controversial organisation, and the fundamental stuff they teach is brilliant. A lot of the stuff on the top I really struggled with, and the way they go about promoting, I definitely don't agree with, but I don't know whether it's changed or not, because that was back early 2000s. From then I went on and I was introduced to other more self-development courses, and I have not stopped since then. So 2008, I really sort of threw myself in even more. Probably before that, I was still doing lots of landmark mid 2000s.
Okay.
Did a lot of crewing and stuff. So was trying to work in it to learn as much as I could. My ex at the time was very anti what I was doing. So that was really interesting. 2008 started something else. He left 2009, I think. And I could really throw myself in, and I have not stopped since.
Good on you.
Today, I've done 3 hours of courses today. I am a bit of a course junkie, but at the same time, I'm learning incredible stuff, and my own knowledge is really expanding beyond anything.
Oh, that's great.
And so, although I don't necessarily have the paper qualifications that come with a lot of these courses, but they're just amazing. My own knowledge is really fantastic.
Fabulous. Look, there's just so much available for us these days to help us grow. There's so much free content out there, and
I'm putting it out there.
and then look, and there are so many coaches. We are really spoilt for choice if we want to go with a coach.
But I have several people I work with on several different areas of my life, and I realize that they understand each area separately, and they're just really amazing.
Exactly. I think that's something that we need to recognize, because if you have you ever dug a tree out by the roots? Seriously, my brother and I had to do it in our front garden when we were kids, and you can't just dig from one side. You have to dig from multiple sides, and then you've got to rock it and shake it to loosen it. Well, we're the same. We can't just stick with one methodology. We need to look at multiple methodologies to shake and rattle ourselves to get all this gunk out.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. So I work with different people all the time in different areas, and it's really good, and it just expands what you can do, and it quickens your own learning experience as well.
Exactly. It's like chipping at the rock, or from all different sides, and
yes, exactly.
Loosening that rock or loosening those roots of that tree, whatever.
Exactly. Because
sometimes I see issues a tangled ball of string. You're pulling a thread and you think, oh, I'm on a rhythm here, I've got it. And then you encounter something else. And then you encounter something else. So you start pulling there and you're pulling here. And then, you get back on that original thread again. We're so complex. I love it.
We are. And if our foot hurts, we don't go to a neurologist because our foot's hurting.
Oh, I had this conversation so many times. I do a facial once a week, and it uses a microcurrent, and so it's releasing all the tendons in my face, and I literally feel that go over my head, down my spine, right down. I have felt the arches in my feet lift as a result of releasing tension in my face. You cannot isolate one part of the body.
Right, we're all connected, absolutely.
Everything's connected.
Absolutely. But that's the same on this earth. Everything is connected. It's all energy. And that's a whole other story. That's a whole other thing, isn't it?
Well, I think really that's what spirituality is. We're talking about our energetic selves.
Yeah, and it's the connection between us, between the earth, between the plants, between the animals, between everything.
Exactly. Yeah, and then everything's a reflection of what's within ourselves, and sometimes it's a puzzle to figure that out. But
And people often, they don't understand what you mean by energy. But if you think of a plug that you put into a socket, you can't see the electricity that comes through from the power lines, which came from the coal fields, which came from the sun or the water or something to make the electricity to make something work.
Exactly. Just because we can't see it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. We can feel it, or we can see it.
Absolutely. And some of us are a little bit more sensitive. But if you sit here and we rub our hands together, so you rub, 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 and then all of a sudden it becomes hot. That's the energy. And then if you start doing this, you can actually feel energy between your hands when you're holding them up well to each other. You can feel the energy in there. And that's what we are. We're energy beings.
Exactly. In a human body.
Definitely. And that's how the meridians of acupuncture work, of EFT works, of so many different modalities of healing too, works through that energy system, which runs chi.
Exactly.
It runs through our body. That's all spiritual stuff as well.
Homeopathics and even herbal tinctures, there's an energetic level to them all.
Yeah. Aromatherapy. Yeah. It's very complex, isn't it? But it's so simple.
Exactly. Spirituality is just entwined with everything we do.
So how do we express our spirituality? Do you think we express it, or do you think some people do?
I don't.
I don't think I do either, but
I
do by talking on here.
When you asked me to do this morning, I thought, oh, this is going to put me out of my comfort zone, which tells me I've got to do it. And because I don't talk about my spirituality much to people, and
no, I don't either.
Because it's a personal practice that I walk, takes me through my daily life, and so I don't often talk about it to people, but I'm a living example.
Yes.
How about you?
I don't openly talk about it much, and I probably, in the first few podcasts that I did, I probably didn't say anything about it at all, where I've interviewed some guests on stuff and I've just gone, whatever. And I'm now actually talking more openly about it, knowing, and it's funny, my word for the year is vulnerability. And I really had to look into that word, because last year when I heard the word vulnerability, I went, oh no, that's dangerous. You can be attacked and it's dangerous. You don't be vulnerable. And then I went, oh, hold on. Actually, vulnerability gives you strength. It gives you power in your walk. I have to learn to be vulnerable. And this year I've just opened up and thrown it out there. And I've been waiting, especially in the beginning, I was waiting to be attacked. And nothing happened. Nothing happened. Got attacked last week but that's the first attack that I've ever had.
Oh, wow.
And there wasn't really even an attack. It was just sort of like someone like you. And it's like, well, it says more about you than me.
There's a saying in the business world that when
Yeah.
you start getting negative comments, you've made it. When you polarize
Yeah.
people.
So I'm not getting the attack that I thought I was going to get by actually being truly honest, vulnerable, and open and out there that I thought I was going to get.
Exactly. When
Mm.
we're ourselves, the people who don't get or are going to comment negatively, look, they might, but you just ignore them. Most of them won't even be interested in commenting.
No, no. And this person doesn't understand.
And
So,
that's their journey. It's where they're at.
yeah,
And
yeah,
we love on them and bless them and send them on their way.
exactly, exactly. Maybe when they're ready, they'll want to look at it. If not, it doesn't matter.
Exactly. When people are ready, they might come back or they might find someone else. Fabulous.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So interesting conversation.
It's not a straightforward topic.
It's not. It's not. And when I was asked the other day, what is spirituality to you? I went,
It's
let
like,
me
how
think about
much
that.
time do you have?
Yeah, let me think about that one. How do I put this in 5 words? It is connection with source. What is source? Source is
Yeah,
the universe. It
exactly.
is God. It is Allah. It is Krishna. It is Chi. It is yeah,
Everything.
it is everything. It is you. It is me. Mm. So I thought it's probably a good topic to put out there so other people can listen to, because if you really don't understand what people mean by being spiritual, and it comes down to living a good life too. This
Yeah,
might just explain it for somebody, what it means to be spiritual, or what it means to me anyhow, what it means to you. Will be
exactly.
different to Joe Blow down the road.
Totally. Totally.
Mm.
Everyone's got their own perspective, and that's the beauty of being human, and that's what makes us different.
Mm. And isn't it good we're all different?
Oh, yes.
Could you imagine a world just all identical to me?
I couldn't stand living with myself, but living within myself, that's different.
Different. Exactly.
Oh dear.
Because I think the more work you do on yourself, the more you do your imperfections as well as your perfections. And you actually accept both sides of it.
But that raises something else. What is perfect?
Oh, it's the duality of life, isn't it?
Well, that's
Whereas
balance.
every
But
black,
I,
there's white. So
I,
for
d- I-
every perfect, there's imperfect.
yes, but see, I don't believe there is perfection
No, there's
because
probably
we'll never achieve it. We can strive for it as much as we want. We can tweak things we write. Nothing will ever be perfect.
yeah, but good enough's good enough for me.
Good enough
Perfect.
is
That's
that's
perfect.
what we aim for. As long as we're coming from our heart,
Mm,
it'll be right. It'll be correct.
mm. Heart-centered.
Mm.
Mm. Heart-centered instead of head-centered.
Oh, it's very easy to do.
Be head-centered.
Get stuck in the head and
Oh, yes. Very much so. Very much so.
Mm,
Mm. Yeah. So do we trust our spirituality?
I do 100%.
Mm. I do too.
Mm.
It's a knowing, isn't it?
It is. It is. And I think if you don't trust your spirituality, then that's something that needs to be addressed.
Mm. And it's trusting ourselves.
Totally. Mm.
This has been a great conversation. I hope
It's
people.
been very interesting, yes.
Have you got anything else you think we should say anything about?
No, I think we've covered enough to raise some eyebrows.
Probably, probably. And it's funny, one of the things I have learnt from doing podcasts and speaking, because I have so many American guests that I interview, and
Mhm.
Americans are a lot more religious than we are. We're a lot more spiritual, and they're a
Mm.
lot more religious.
Okay.
And I think there's a slight difference in us in that, and that's why they all go to church and we don't go to church. So being spiritual doesn't mean that you go to church and you attend things,
But you can.
but you can't. There is a spiritual church. I went to one in Melbourne. I didn't get actually. Well, then I went to another one, and that was really good. So I can't even say that, can I? I went to one I liked and one I didn't like.
Oh, well, look, that's your experience.
But yes, so it's different for everyone
Totally.
and every culture too, I think.
Oh, yes.
Mm. Well, thank you, Narelle. I think we've just about covered it.
Sounds good. Thank you.
So if someone wants to know more about your makeup, how do they find you? Apart from Facebook, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm mainly on Facebook. I am on Instagram, but just look up Narelle Carter on Facebook and you'll see my face.
Beautiful.
And my cover pic is the Total Beauty Network.
Fabulous. Fabulous.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to this week's episode of Wow, Love Light Inspire, the podcast. And wasn't it really an interesting conversation? Narelle and I were just talking, there was no audience there. We were just talking from our own heart about our own experiences and what we felt spirituality meant to us. I hope you got something from it. I hope you now understand what it means to be spiritual. It's not something to be scared of or anything. It's just a way of being for us. And I'm sure you got something out of it anyhow, or at least understood where you came from as well. Now, every Friday we have new episodes, so who knows who we'll be speaking to next week? You know, I find some incredible women, and I love sharing them with you guys. Now, press the subscribe button so you never miss another episode, because you just never know what we're going to be talking about. And I'd love it if you left us a review. That would be really fantastic. Now, also, because we want to hear your takeaways, we want to know what you got out of our episode. So please tell us, let us know. Now, I'm Lorraine Roberts. I work with people, women who are just starting out, reinventing their lives, getting into action, starting businesses, just finding who they are. So if you need someone in your team who gives you ideas, methods, and ways of doing things, or you need somebody just to keep you accountable, then I am exactly the person you need to get yourself back into action, get yourself back in the game. Come and have a free strategy session with me, because what have you got to lose? Now, thank you so much to my producer, Nissa. She's put this together for you. Without her, you wouldn't be listening to this, promise you, because I have no clue of the back end or the tech. So thank you, Nissa. And also what we spoke about today was purely Narelle and my take on what it means. It wasn't about you. If you need some help in this area, please go and find an expert, go and speak to someone, get in touch with us, and we can help you. This was our experience. This explains exactly who we are and what it means to us. So it wasn't about you. And have a wonderful weekend, everybody, if it's coming up to your weekend and you're listening to this on Friday when it's been released. Thank you.